Now, finally, let's turn to the Cambridge Dictionary, which has changed its definition of the word woman and of the word man, but the woman one gets more attention for obvious reasons. Not only do we have the original definition still of adult human female, but it now includes references to people who identify as women. Jo, what have you made of this? I mean, Orwellian is the kind of word that springs to mind, isn't it?
Absolutely, because I mean, what this means, the dictionary is supposed to be the kind of the ultimate reference point as to where you go to literally find out the meaning of words, and it's always a useful point in an argument. People will throw at you, look this up in the dictionary, because they assume it's this very objective, neutral kind of font of meaning, if you like. I've absolutely lost track of the number of times people have said to me over the years, "Oh, go and look feminism up in a dictionary. You clearly just don't know what feminism means." As if you're going to go to a dictionary, you're going to look these words up and right, okay, this is what the kind of the meaning that comes down from God suggests. But I mean, the word woman in particular is so contested. We know this at the moment. The question that people throw at MPs is can you define what a woman is? So for the dictionary, the Cambridge Dictionary in this instance, but Merriam-Webster's done it in the US before then, to come down with this incredibly ideologically loaded definition of a woman as identifying or living as female, it's taking a side. It's not neutral. It's not objective. It's taking a side in a particular debate. And the argument that the dictionary compilers, if you like, are using, or those supporting the dictionary compilers, is that it's reflecting common usage. But I mean, I call bullshit on that because it's not common usage. I kind of think if you asked 100 random people in the street, what is a woman? What does woman mean? They're not going to give you the spiel about, it's somebody who identifies as or lives as female. They know that a woman is an adult human female. So when they talk about in common usage, what they mean is it's used by woke institutions. Yeah. It's the people who are writing the equality and diversity charters. So then you create this kind of vicious circle of woke people reinforcing their own ideas with each other in this kind of circle of mutual backslapping and reinforcement. But I think it should really concern us. I mean, it is Orwellian, and ultimately you change the meaning of words like that, you do change the way we think and see the world.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, prior to this, the trans movement has come up with a lot of its own words, tried to stop us from using words like breastfeeding or mother or or pregnant woman and things like that. But this is altogether more kind of sinister.
Yeah, and it feeling like that kind of final rubber stamp for what these activists, in a very kind of elitist fashion. This is about, the attempts to kind of change the language in which we use, almost to change the language so as to alter how we think about and to kind of circumscribe the debate in the way that Joe's been describing. It's not been about, again, common usage and argument had out in society. It's about putting various elite institutions under a level of moral pressure and shaming in order for them to give in to your particular ideology. So it is very sinister in that sense. You note that it's not just the Cambridge Dictionary as well. Merriam-Webster previously in the US has altered their definitions and so on. And, we often use the word Orwellian. It's thrown around a lot these days, but there's no other word really for it when you're talking about this level of attempts to thought control via control of the language and the meaning of words. There's no other way to discuss it. And the thing about this movement, such as it is that it always kind of goes down this particular path, the kind of discussion around changing people's birth certificates, even, which is essentially a form of compelling the authorities to lie about what this child, when they first appeared, what their, the obvious observable sex is, to be able to change that. And I think it's one of those things where the more that it kind of goes down this particular track, the more you see that it is a fundamentally elitist movement. It's not about common parlance. It is about what a very small group of activists and a very cowed, or in many cases now convinced elite have decided you should think. And so that's where we're at, it feels like, with this issue.